Well, here she is, ladies and gentlemen. It's the birthday girl. And I hope you don't mind. But I wanted to bring her on board and say, share the night with me. Share the night with me or share the night with us. Because you are family and we are family. And we had a wonderful day today, did we not?
We had an excellent day. How is everyone? Thank you for sharing the platform with me. But on birthdays, we like to be together all day long, every minute.
Absolutely. Are we coming in okay? Want to make sure we can hear me okay? Because I know I'm loud and boisterous, but you're rather soft spoken and elegant, whereas I'm loud and obstreperous. We have a lot to talk about in addition to the celebration of your birth. And also, your birth was it was the inauguration of JFK.
Yes, on my birthday, every year my father would repeat the same story, how he had to fight his way to get my mother to the hospital because it was a blizzard in 61. And also the inauguration they watched in the hospital of JFK.
So that was the next day, right?
The next day. Yes, the next day. But they watched it together in the hospital.
And a fire truck, if I recall correctly, was required.
Something to that effect. But, in Jersey, they used to come around. They were very on top of it. If you didn't shovel your sidewalks, they'd stop by and remind you. And
who are they? The gendarme?
The fire department.
Ah.
And I believe that they came up to our door and my mother answered it. My father had gone to work, I believe. People used to go to work in snowstorms and go to school in snowstorms. This is this thing we get now with a little dusting and people close down businesses and schools. Well, that's another story. But the fireman looked at my mother when she opened the front door about the shoveling and said, never mind. Let us know if you need a lift it was something to that effect, to the hospital kind of thing. But here I am decades later, ready to go.
And I am so glad and so honored. And so today was a wonderful day. It was just
so good.
It was snowing. And I cooked and I made a variety of a veritable smorgasbord of viands and victuals, comestibles, and toothsome little like a charcuterie without any kind of equipment, just kind of.
Well, it didn't really make it to. I wanted to make the whole board of
never made it to the board.
And all that, but as you made it, I should say.
Indeed,
we just kind of ate it, so it didn't really make to the presentation.
So, my friends, welcome. Join us again. The phone numbers are 800-22. I'm just kidding. Your thoughts and comments always. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We have a lot to talk about. But before, as you know, Mrs. L. knows it better than anybody else. Right now, it is important for us to remind you of our particular sponsor because they make us who we are, and we thank them so much. This is our dear friends at LionelGold.com. The markets are in turmoil. The whole world is in turmoil. Oil, tech, retail, property, you name it. Nobody knows where this all ends. So what can you do? Well, you might have heard of precious metals, but not thought much more about it. How do you buy them? Where would you even keep gold if you had it? But precious metals come into their own in times like these. As geopolitical tensions rise and economic turmoil looms, gold is always a beacon of stability. Investing in some resilience with the Noble Gold Investments IRA services, looking after your money makes sense. The team at Noble Gold Investments will run through your options with you and see if you qualify to start a gold IRA or 401k rollover. Protect your portfolio with a Noble Gold Investments IRA and claim a free silver virtue coin for starting. Call 877-646-5347 today. Tell them Lionel sent you. That's 877-646-5347 and fortify your financial future against the winds of change. Or visit LionelNationGold.com right now. What was that again? That's LionelNationGold.com. The only gold company I trust. And remember, there's always a risk of investment and there's no guarantee of any kind. Indeed, life does not provide any guarantees. Mrs. L, of course, is her birthday today. Look at this. Hello from the UK. We got C5 Circle, Sam Stone. Sam Stone, a great great John Prine, and I knew a great musician in Pinellas County, Sam Stone was terrific. Brenda Barnett joins us, Aunt Massey, Glenn Carlson, Hillbilly 55, Varkin Hart, Dolly Parton's birthday too,
Yes.
78, yes.
You know, also our great friend, Carrie Pendergast, her birthday as well. We are birthday twins, triplets, along with Dolly Parton. And Carrie is part of our Warriors board.
Ensemble.
And, so we celebrate that. But before we get started, let me just throw out many thanks for all of the wonderful, all day long. I mean, it started yesterday morning, the wishes, the emails, the cards, the donations to Lynn's Warriors. All of that is so greatly appreciated. And I thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. It's really quite actually overwhelming. So a word I don't use a lot, but with the Warriors, I it's very overwhelming. I'm very touched.
You spent, and I see this every single day, working day. Tonight, you're going to be doing a radio interview later on in the evening. You did tell us about your latest, by the way, Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. You have to subscribe. Tell us about this I heard you do this great interview today.
Well, for the Lynn's Warriors YouTube channel, one of our colleagues, Derek Maltz, who currently is part of something called Border 911. And that website, I urge everybody, not now, but later, border911.com. This is a group of professionals led by Tom Homan, who worked in the Trump administration to educate about and secure our borders. Now, Derek, I speak to him periodically to get updates about the borders, what's happening, and how we can get the public much more engaged and involved, because this really is the number one crisis. I wish one of the candidates would be, the whole thing would be about the border, because everything is stemming from the border, whether it is the drugs, the smuggling, the cartels, the attack on our children. We can kind of think of it as everything sprouting from that, a wheel with a lot of spokes. And Derek Maltz was the chief of the New York Division Drug Enforcement Task Force, 3 decades of experience, knows what he's talking about. There is no end in sight with all of this illegal alien invasion. We call it an invasion. We want people to come here legally.
Absolutely.
And we're not against immigration. So if you hear that, read that about anything, that's just a
and by the way, as you can see this, this I don't know. Ostensibly, it says Rite Aid. This is one of the most ingenious purveyors of, I think, true comedic wit. Right, revitalize at Rite Aid, your one-stop shop for health, beauty, and more. Elevate your well-being with Rite Aid's trusted products and services, and will be there. And we thank you for this. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say, but thank you. Let me remind you also, if you think she's great to look at and be with now, let me remind you a couple of things right now. First and foremost, because we're doing this as we speak, we're doing all of the stage preparations and the like. Let me get my stuff here. Here we go. Right here at the Lotus for POTUS 2
That's
tour
right.
on the 3rd of February, returning to New York City's Cutting Room. That's going to be there. In fact, our good friend, the lovely, the talented, the enigmatic Liz Solak was there. She was doing the dancing on the tables, doing the saber dance, much to the chagrin of some of the fire officials who were there to make sure everything was okay. But Liz went crazy. But please, tickets are available right there. We want to see you. We'll have questions and answer. Going to play some gut bucket. It's like nothing else.
Yeah, I like the questions and answers. I think giving people a platform to speak out and ask. I think people very much want to, and also in a friendly environment.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
They, when we're alone and things like that, because a lot of people tell me this, it's very tough. I think people are so much more comfortable. They'll open up and they want some answers, or at least they want kind of group think, or they want, suggestions. And so I like the Q&A. I think that's an excellent part of the whole thing.
Can you imagine if anybody else from any of the other news shows, I don't want to mention Fox News, if somebody said, Brian, I got a question, could you explain DARPA, whatever, they would know half of what it was that you were talking about, which is so important. By the way, do you know who was hoping for a Trump victory more than anybody else, who do you think that will be? Think about this very carefully. Who would want right now there to be a Trump victory? The answer: CNN, MSDNC.
Of course.
Today, you were sitting Shiva with the end, apparently, of Sports Illustrated. Tell us what happened with that.
But have you seen what they have put on their covers in recent months? That's all I say. I say dig deeper, do your homework, and see what they put on their covers. How could they sustain?
One was a man, a national, no, a transgender. And the other one was a very, a woman, large. Nobody should be ashamed of the way they look. But when somebody thought it was, I think, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit, for whatever it's worth, to have somebody who was about 100 pounds overweight.
It just doesn't work. Let's be honest.
It doesn't work.
It just doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
And it wasn't built upon that. And so start another platform for that. Do you know what I mean? People don't want that. None of this is working. None of this is working. All of this, DEI, all of this inclusiveness, all of this. Just develop new platforms to put those things on.
Did you see?
Nothing's working. I could tell you 20 things right now just don't work.
Bezos and that thing. By the way, Megyn Kelly, sure, sharpening her fangs, going after. Why did they?
But I'm sorry.
Say it.
You know what?
Say it.
Well, Megyn Kelly. Everybody should be able to say what they want. However, we have more important issues to think about right now. Who cares what Lauren Sanchez looks like? I don't care. There's so much going on between the border, between the fentanyl poisoning invasion on our country, between our children, between education, between mental health of our youth and adults. We don't have time for Megyn Kelly. To me, it's low-hanging fruit. I'm sorry. We don't have time for it. I don't appreciate it. That's just me. Call me wacky. We have such important things we must focus on. And again, our youth are watching all of this, okay? And it's just not
now, here's a
good role model.
Here's a great question. John the Hangman says, whatever happened with the tunnels in Brooklyn, with the underground? They
just went away.
Went away.
Well, the shelf life is usually 48 hours for pretty much a story. I don't know.
Tell them about the hospital greeter stabber. Listen to this one.
I don't even know. They just described him in a headline as a very friendly hospital greeter stabber. Lovely.
In Queens.
I don't even know. I don't even know what to say about that.
In Queens, there was apparently this deranged man who was out stabbing people.
Randomly stabbing. He stabbed 5 people, right. 5 different people who didn't know each other. And now they're describing him as lovely. No, a loving hospital greeter.
It was first of all, what is a hospital greeter? I've heard of a Walmart greeter.
I think they have them in hospitals where you walk in and they say, hello.
I'm direction,
that direction. I am trying at all costs to stay out of any hospitals and not go near them. I'm a great believer. And once you get there, a lot of people just never get out.
I want to talk about
these hospitals.
I want to talk about this. And I know you hate talking about this, but I love talking about this. Alec Baldwin.
No, another one I don't want to talk about.
Alec Baldwin apparently being indicted again, or the first indictment didn't take, indicting him again for this apparently ostensible.
Well, who's behind this indictment?
Well, because
I didn't brush up this. I've been busy this afternoon.
They're claiming it seems to be almost
who's pushing
the first one. I don't know. The first one was dismissed, and I'm tending to side, I believe, with him on this one. Because I think he's going to have to show criminal negligence when he's on the set of a movie, when they're handing him things. He says, I don't know what's.
Well, what about the person who handed him the gun?
That's exactly right. Well,
why aren't we
that's
hearing
the one
about
who's
that
killed.
Person?
That's the one, the armorer.
Who's the armorer? It's that young woman, right?
I think it was the woman who was killed.
No, it wasn't. There was another woman.
Okay, right. You're right.
Whose father was also in the field, as an armorer. She handed the weapon, gun, whatever that was.
But criminal negligence versus this. But here's what I want people to understand. This is interesting. By the way, he blocked me from Twitter.
I don't think he'll ever get over that.
No, I'm wondering, you petty son of a bitch. What do you want? I'm not bothering you. But he blocks.
You're going to have to let that
he
one
does,
go.
There
Let
are
it go. Let it
there
go.
are people that you can just,
let it go.
Ignore them or whatever it is. I don't block people. I don't ever see them. No, seriously, there are people. Bette Midler. I don't block her. I don't follow her. She doesn't follow me. Well, what's the big deal? But anyway, Keith Olbermann, David Crosby.
You got to let it go.
David Crosby. Anyway.
Well, he died.
But here's what I find interesting.
Yeah.
If this were Ron Howard, Robert De Niro, Clint Eastwood, Scorsese, the whole industry will be coming forward and says, you can't do this. Don't you understand that this is we've been doing gunfighting and you would have other people like Clint Eastwood who would come forward. What if he came forward and said, let me tell you about this. I don't check guns. This isn't the way. But nobody in Hollywood, nobody's lifting a finger to help him. Isn't that interesting? Nobody. You think that SAG-AFTRA would be saying, we're going to come after you, and the gun owners of America, whatever. Nothing. It's like they just. Now, what happens with, I know you don't care about this, but I do. His wife, Charo, her name is Hilaria. And she claims to be born in Spain, but she's not. She's from Massachusetts. Hilaria. Well, that's the name of it. And she was on Today Show or something, and she was saying, today, to me, this is called a cucumber. And then they look at her and they go, who's this? All of a sudden, sometimes stroke victims will have, believe it or not, accents. So all of a sudden they said, why is Alec Baldwin's wife sounding like she's Charo? What is this? Or Ava, whatever her name is, the one from Modern Family. In any event.
Sofia Vergara.
Yeah.
Not Ava.
Listen to me, my husband, Alec Baldwin. To me, I think that.
She said she was from Spain.
I know, but she was but they said, you never spoke like that. And then she did, and then she didn't.
She said she slips into it and out of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Remember, she was doing the yoga everywhere she went. She did the yoga. The kids like this. She's breastfeeding the kid, and she's doing the yoga. Alex reading the paper. She got the bare feet over here. She's doing the yoga. And her dream apparently was to have this reality show.
They didn't take her up on it with all of the Baldwins.
How many kids do they have?
I think they have 7, and he's got that other daughter.
Not China. No, Ireland.
Basinger. Ireland.
Ireland.
I think she's well into her 20s by now.
But here's the best part. This is the part I love. When she had like a baby like in a week after they were all of a sudden.
Nobody ever called her out on that one. No, she had 2 babies within like the 9-month period.
It happens.
But
in Bethlehem.
Well, not unless you have twins or something. But no. But they were like 4 months apart, and nobody called her out on it. I could never understand that. So obviously.
Honey, look at this.
One was a surrogate adopted.
You have somebody at the Dorothy Carter Foundation. Embrace self-love. Do what makes you happy. No fear. Live freely, whether it's skipping tips or taking from the offering plate. Your life, your rules. I don't know what this is, but thank you, honey.
It means just have a good life and do as you want.
No, but for all we know, Dorothy Carter could have been a subversive. But anyway, here's the best part. Here's the best part. So Hilaria is saying, listen, Alec, what about the show that we're going to do? The show. The Hilaria con Alec, everybody, the familia Broadway. What about us? Listen, it's not looking good. Second time manslaughter. It's like it's over. All that work, all of that.
Wouldn't SAG-AFTRA, as you mentioned, step up and put out a statement about and why aren't they using prop guns? I did read one time, a long time ago, they wanted to be authentic, but why wouldn't you move?
See, that's the thing.
Everybody I know about used to use prop guns.
Well, no, not prop guns per se, but
you know
blanks.
But blank. Okay, well, you know what I mean.
Well, first of all, there should have been no live round within 100 miles of that place. No, none, no live rounds. It's just a
Well, do you
blanket.
think somebody slipped one in there?
I don't know. I
We
don't
don't
know.
know. It's very suspicious.
Very suspicious. What about this one? By the way, have you seen this Julia Hartley Brewer? Oh God, dear God, she makes Katie Hopkins look like Kate Middleton. And by the way, what's up with Kate Middleton?
Your guess is as good
The
as mine.
abdominal surgery. What's going on
I
with
just
this?
don't. First of all, I don't see a lot of people questioning this. Normally, people would be all over this, like, what kind of abdominal surgery? What's going on here? I don't see a lot of that. And also, why don't they just put forth what it is and close it out? Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it must be. I don't know why. I don't know. I guess she's entitled to her privacy, but they do live in the public eye. But I'm surprised I'm not seeing more backlash as people like demanding to know and things like that. But nothing.
Now, have y'all heard about Barbara Lee? What is this one about? Here's another one. Don't you love that trick? How to go behind the paywall? Don't tell them.
No.
Let them figure it out themselves. Representative Barbara Lee was removed from a hearing on Cuba policy Thursday, a move she claims amounted to censorship by the Republican chairwoman. The House Foreign Affairs. Oh, that's not what I want to hear. I want to hear about she was. No, that's not what I want to hear. I want to hear what she was told. Here we go. Barbara Lee. By the way, have you seen this one? This look at the put him on that face. Look at the funja on that. What's her name? Shannon or Caitlin Collins?
Caitlin Collins is her name.
Look at the funja.
It's just they captured a bad image.
No, she always looks like that. She looks dyspeptic.
She's got
the funja.
She's upset.
She got the funja.
Everybody's upset all the time in the media.
God, look at this. She looks like she's angry, like she's passing a Bezor.
No, she actually looks like she's about to cry.
Yeah, she always does. In any event. Okay. Oh, for the love of God.
Nobody's buying this story.
Oh, it's the best.
But
it's juicy. Smell it.
Yeah, but nobody's buying it because we've been through the juicy story. And
here we go. Listen to this one. This is Barbara Lee claims. Representative Barbara Lee claimed on Thursday that a racist white man, just a white man, he's just walking around at the Capitol, once attempted to prevent her from entering the members elevator and accused her of stealing her membership pin. Just a white man, just a guy. Lee, who was running for the U.S. Senate in California, was asked on CNN about Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley. Or Nikki. Anyway, Nikki's assertion that the United States has never been a racist country. Boy, Nikki, come on, cheer. Anyway, Lee rebuked Haley and said racism was embedded in the DNA of America. She then suggested that personal racism is also a problem that Haley doesn't understand, offering up a story to support her point. While she did not specify a date or a time, Lee alleged she was walking from the House office building to the Capitol building when she was stopped by a white man who told her she could not enter the members' elevator. Quote, he blocked me from getting into the elevator and told me I was not a member of Congress and it was for members only. I said, sir, I'm a member of Congress, and I showed him my pin. Lee alleged the man then asked whose pin she had stolen. Quote, this is an example of what personal racism is and how people of color constantly have to deal with this each and every day, she told Caitlin Collins, who appeared surprised. Well, she always looks surprised. It's the eyebrows. But the systemic racism is in the policies of this country. And just look at what they're trying to do in terms of eliminating diversity, equity, and inclusion. Oh my God. They're trying to not allow for an equal and level playing field. She also said that Haley was clueless about U.S. racism. Lee serving a comment. Now,
I have a lot of questions about this.
So let me get this straight. You mean this white guy just stopped her?
Which white guy? Was it Capitol Police? Was it security in the Capitol?
Or was it some guy walking by and saying, hey?
coming from there. They have various coffee shops and things underneath the Capitol. Was she in the tunnel? I've walked around there plenty. I'm not wearing any kind of pin. Of course, I'm not trying to ride the special elevator that they use. I want to know a date. And why didn't she report it at the time?
I know.
Because these issues have been going on, especially in the last several years. I'm not buying it.
A white man. And you think somebody would say, how dare you? I'm going to do this. And I filed a formal thing. No.
Exactly.
And Caitlin doesn't ask any questions because they're probably talking to her IFB. Don't bring it up. It's bullshit. Just don't bring it up. Remember Juicy? And did you see on social media, they had the two brothers, remember the Nigerian brothers with MAGA hats? Can you? It was probably a janitor. Who did this? Insurrection. Edward Arruda. Unbelievable.
But here's the thing. If I put out something, a black man stopped me. Can you imagine how everybody would be all over me?
They'd say, who black man?
They'd be
what
throwing me in jail or somewhere. So this is, people should be questioning this one.
One of the funniest ones, you see Alec Soros, the World Economic Forum, this Poindexter, this twerp, this dweeb.
Well, he's in charge now.
Did you?
The foundation.
I've never listened to him before. People are thinking to themselves, is this guy the Soros, at least, he sounded like, he sounded smart guy. Alex sounds like he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And they just handed him the money and the whatever it was. But listen carefully. If you get a chance, go back and listen to his World Economic Forum reference. How about this, honey?
Let me say something about the World Economic Forum. Let's bring up, this is the first year that some very different groups were invited to Davos, including colleagues of ours, Protect Young Eyes, Digital Safety, Heritage Foundation, conservative think tank. And so my question to you is, why do you think this year there was a lot of backlash because these, what would be considered or labeled right, conservative, Christian groups, they were getting backlash. That
would normally have nothing to do with these.
Right, but they were getting backlash from their own, members, their own right, their own conservative. Whereas we at the Warriors, as well as some other groups, believe wherever there's a platform, no matter what we know about these groups, we should go and put forth our truths and our facts and our studies, because we have it all backed up by different studies and things like that. So people had, like the Heritage Foundation had to put out a video explaining why they're going. Protect Young Eyes had to explain. But why do you think they were invited this year to this World Economic Forum?
Anybody's guess. Do you remember when you were very happy, very pleased when Lindsey Graham and Richard Blumenthal were co-sponsors of the Earn It Act or whatever it was? Was it Earn It Act?
I have news for you. Barbara Lee from California has done some very good child justice bills that are bipartisan. So let me just throw that in. But I'm able to separate. A lot of people can't separate out. I can separate good work and go with that.
Let me ask you this. How many of you fine folks believe that it's FEMA camps and gulags if America loses 2024 to the SG shadow government ghouls? Remember a while back, just last week, they were saying, hey, Trump's going to go out there and he's going to have it's going to be a dictatorship. And they're already talking about legislation to disenable or to prevent him from doing this. And they're basically threatening, if not promising us, that they were going to do some type of quasi-militaristic. How many of you fine folks watching right now think, look at this, 222, was it 272 or 222? How many people right now believe, you wonderful people, think that there's a possibility where one day you're going to see January the 6th, those underground Washington gulags and star chambers all over the place, where all of a sudden, we have a FEMA, remember on the upper west, on the west side, there was a FEMA. They were worrying about FEMA.
It's the West Side Highway.
Right. FEMA, like jails and during the Republican convention.
No, they're like, it looks like a big covered convention, white structure that juts out into the Hudson. It's still there.
Who believes re-education? Who believes that there's a possibility of this happening? Who believes that with all that was said about Trump and January 6th and what happened to Americans who dared to utter Not everybody. Some were basically trespassorial. I don't believe there was rebellion or seditious conspiracy. Actual. But if you think that is beyond the realm of possibility, you're not paying attention. And the fact that I'm even saying that today makes me think, dear God, stand by for 1 second. As you can see, my friend, this is our special guest, Mrs. L. It's her birthday today. We are celebrating it wisely. And oh, how about this? How much do we love MyPillow?
We sleep on it every night. we use the mattress toppers. We use the slippers. We use the sheets. We use the towels. We got it all.
We have a friend of ours. His nickname is Butch, and he loves the slippers in particular. And what do I do when I can't find my bolster? I go crazy. It's that little perfect.
You really do. And I used to have a bolster, but now you've stolen my bolster and you have 2 bolsters.
So here's the good one. Here's the good news, my friends, from our good friends at MyPillow.com. Don't forget promo code Lionel. Listen to this. All right, my friend. It's time to hail and salute our great friends at MyPillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, you get a free gift. No purchase necessary. I know a free gift. It's a tautology, so sue me. But listen carefully. What are we talking about? Giza Dream Bed Sheets, MyPillow 2.0, sheets, slippers, percales, towels, quilts, bedspreads, mattresses, mattress covers, mattress toppers, linens, kitchen towels, bathrobes, name it. Items to help you luxuriate and relax. Think about it. And they're monster sellers right now. Listen to me. Slippers. My slippers. Think about it. What do they do with MyPillow? They make things real soft and plush and comfy. How perfect. And when they apply that genius to slippers, look out. Look out. Look at the specials right now, but only if you use promo code Lionel. So go to MyPillow.com/Lionel. Solid disproverbial. MyPillow.com/Lionel or call 800-645-4965. Call right now and watch how fast Mike answers the phone. MyPillow.com, the best. Now, I was, forgive me, my darling. You were talking about your YouTube channel and your interview with Derek Smaltz, and I interrupted. Please.
Well, I wanted to just add to that, which we started out with the program. It is very important. I'll be putting that interview up on the Lynn's Warriors YouTube channel when we finish here. It is very important that I urge all of you to watch that, because it's invaluable information. And you have to remember, every state is a border state. All of this is trickling down into your community. I don't care if you live in the middle of nowhere right now and you're on a farm or somewhere, it's coming your way. So you need to hear what is going on and how you have to take steps to protect, within your home, your families, and also your communities. So please, Derek Maltz, he has served our country for years. We honor him. We thank him. He is a colleague, and we have to get something done with this border. I think it's the biggest issue. All these candidates should be that's it. That should be what we're talking about. America, safety. They said biggest national security threat, whether you want to look at, they call it the next 9/11. They don't want to call it that. They're calling it's coming. Just when. And also the drugs. It's not, fentanyl is not even a drug. It is a poison. And we have an American dying every 3 minutes, including so many children. So we got to get a grip on this. Nobody's talking enough about this, and nobody's taking action enough. So it's up to us. So I just wanted to finish up with that.
Christmas is just around the corner. And I'm looking at, this is my Twitter channel here.
This almost looks like a joke.
Human dog beds. Have you seen this? Human dog's bed. It's a bed. It looks like a dog bed.
I've seen it.
Big enough.
What happened to sleeping bags?
What happened to beds?
No, but why would I want to buy a human dog bed? Seriously.
Now, here's another story, and you turned me on to this one today. This shocked the hell out of me. Look at this story. Foreign developers, including Chinese, Russian, Iranian, and Venezuelans, now own at least 40 million acres of U.S. land near military bases from coast to coast. Government admits it does not know the full extent of the land grab.
This government does not know the full extent of anything, including the 300,000 unaccompanied minors that have come across in the year 2023, the unsecured borders. Derek Maltz talked about this. This is the most frightening thing. How much? And he said it is the Chinese. And the Chinese now, number one enemy, military-age men flooding through the borders. That is what is happening right now. That is, you should share that link actually so people can see that story.
We'll do that right now.
And understand. I don't want them to just hear from us. I want them to read, take their time and see what is happening.
Right here. I'll put it up right
These are
there.
important issues that don't get covered enough. People have to understand. They also own all of the electric batteries, but that's all failing too with the more stories with the with the cars freezing and the batteries freezing and then the charging stations freezing. So that's kind of good news. What is that?
Those are the two MAGA. Man, it's a joke. By the way, one thing also about Alec Baldwin. I'm going to go back. There was one fellow who was I forget his name, but he was on Saturday Night Live and did the best Trump imitation anybody's ever seen.
I don't know his name, but I know who you
mean. He's phenomenal.
He's very good.
Then once you saw how he did it, then people would imitate him. Alec Baldwin came up with this bilious, dyspeptic kind of impression where he looks like he's, with the face. It was horrible. It was the way. If you're going to indict him for anything, it was that awful and god awful.
Indict Alec for
that
bad impersonation.
Now I'm going to show you something right now. You're going to watch this. You haven't seen this picture. Maybe you have.
Well, let me just compose.
But I'm going to show it to you
okay.
first. Okay.
Right.
Ready for this? Okay.
I'm going to get ready.
This was seen in a restaurant. Look at this one. What is this?
Why are you showing me?
I have no idea. But there's a wonderful woman named Emmy who just puts up these great pictures. Here's this picture. Bookmark this. Caitlin Collins and Don Lemon. Where is Don Lemon? Where is he? Do you see this one?
Oh!
It's a joke. It's a parody.
But look, the guy gets
I know.
up.
Well, do you see how the camera moved out of the way? Don't mind us. We're just having. Watch this. Look at.
We're having some birthday fun.
How about this swimsuit picture? Look at this.
Well, this is why Sports Illustrated. I'm sorry. It's done.
How about Fannie Willis? How about Fannie Willis? What the hell?
Will anything come of this?
Dismissal of Trump's charges. Don't.
I hope so, because all day long I'm seeing this Hunter Biden just being in my face with the child and the wife and that fake Dr. Jill, smiling and laughing, and nothing's happening with him as far as I can tell.
How about his fund? The lawyer,
the Love Borough or something.
What the hell?
The Sugar Borough is called Sugar Borough.
My favorite is that there are people who all they want to talk about is Hunter Biden. You see where Marjorie Taylor Greene put up basically pornographic pictures, excerpts from his laptop, and Raskin, whatever his name was say, "Hey, you can't do this. A point of order." And they go, "Well, it came from his laptop." They are laughing hysterically. How many of our quote friends made a big deal? Remember when Miranda Devine and others had their big laptop from hell, and they thought this is going to be.
But it got them a lot of speaking engagements. It got them.
Nothing happened.
But I'm telling you, that's their focus is on the speaking engagements, on people liking them, going on the different radio and TV show. I mean, that's what it's about. This is the society we live in. I'm curious, like, what's on people's minds that are watching this today. There's like so much happening. I think people should write in like what's got them.
Well, let me tell you what also was important, and this is very, very critical. And if you listen to that, Alex Soros and others, people are scared witless. I'll leave it at that over Donald Trump, because he is now taking off. There is a momentum. Nikki Haley is nowhere near. DeSantis is crushed into.
Well, the media is just pushing this Nikki Haley, though. They're just pushing her
because to try to break through Trump.
Of course. But don't believe any of
But here's the funny part.
Yeah.
If the momentum continues, if he is perceived as a winner, as a viable candidate, as somebody who really poses a significant threat and has a significant chance of taking the 2024 crown. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to what I'm telling you. It could happen. Let me ask you a question. Give me one word to describe. One word. One word.
But also,
To describe, hold that thought. If Trump takes it again in 2024, remember 16, we were watching, I said, there's no way. We knew something was up. Hillary canceled the fireworks at the Javits Center.
but I also dozed off in bed. And
Me
then
too.
When I woke up, they said Donald Trump projected winner. I'm like, what? Because all we heard around New York and the country, Hillary Clinton. We did know about 2 days in advance when we heard the fireworks were canceled. The balloon orders were canceled down the street of the Javits Center. So that was very suspicious. I remember saying to you, what do you think this means? But it didn't occur to me. I thought she was just next in line. You know what I mean? It didn't occur to me.
Now, you were going to say something. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I don't even know what I was going to say because now I forgot what I was going to say.
What if...
Oh, I know what I was going to say.
Yes, please.
Even if one doesn't like Trump, because there's a lot not to like, okay?
It's true.
And that's just coming from me. This is my opinion. And there's a lot of past behaviors. I don't want to hear about women in bloody faces and all that nonsense. There's only one thing you have to know, that we are Americans. We are being threatened. Were we better off? I know everybody's heard this 4 years ago. That's all you have to know. And who are the candidates who can handle this? That's all you have to know.
That's right.
And so if that has to be Trump and is Trump, that's the way we're going to have to vote. Because who are the other candidates? I don't know. Nikki Haley. I think Ron is done, right? Ron DeSantis.
He's through.
I know he's out of money. I'm surprised he has been hanging on this long, but.
I want to ask a question that you have been wanting to, because Mrs. L knows show business, has been in show business, knows this like the back of her hand. And I've got to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry that you've got to, please explain to me, Taylor Swift. What is this about? Why, where did, I understand what's that song she likes that I like? Knock It Off, or Take It Back, or Knock It Down, or knock it down, knock it down.
Well, I can't really sing.
Push it back, or whatever. Take it off, slip it out, whatever it's called. Anyway, please explain.
Nothing chosen one, in my opinion. She's got a tremendous machine behind her.
Is she paying for this, or
Of course, she has a tremendous team behind her. Every day pushing out. Here I am going to dinner. Here I am kissing my boyfriend. Here I am. It's just pushing and pushing her out. That being said, she does fill stadiums when she does her concerts. So we know firsthand. Friends in Philadelphia told us people were camping out 2 and 3 days outside the stadium to buy tickets. So she is selling. She's one of, if not the largest seller. I would have to check myself on that.
Oh, yeah.
But she's got a tremendous PR machine. And again, it goes into that theory of the strategies of you just keep putting the images out. You keep brainwashing the public over and over again. And that's what I think the Republicans should be doing right now. And they're not doing. They're not putting out enough of that brainwashing content. But I digress when I talk about that. But Taylor Swift, she appeals to mothers and daughters and grandmothers. So you have a lot of that going to the concerts. And she seems innocent enough, she's in her early 30s now. And so let's see how she progresses. Remember, she started very young, Taylor Swift. So she still has those Swiftie fans for years now. Let's see how, as she approaches 40, how her career will transition. That's what I'm waiting for.
Okay. All right.
Did you do the one word?
Not really. I tried, but they didn't do it.
Oh, they're not listening?
They weren't listening. I don't know one Taylor Swift song. See, people are very proud of that. Very proud of it. I know that one song. What's the one? Knock it off. Shake it off. Shake it.
I think it's called Shake It Off. But,
Shake It Off.
I don't really follow Taylor Swift. I know about it from all my entertainment stuff. But
she registered millions of fans. You see, you can't just dismiss her.
But
see,
that is the truth. When I say she's a chosen one, thank you for bringing that up. Registering people at every concert, are you registered to vote? So there we go. Where is the flip side of that?
Thank you. You see this? More cult mentality, just so we shake it off. Thank you.
Shake it off.
Shake it up. If you shake it more than twice, remember that joke? Anyway, sorry. The thing is that do you understand
But there's always something behind everything. And she is registering lots of young people.
What about the Republicans? Who's a Republican? Who? What? Kid Rock? How about that kid with the guy with the tattoos?
No, Jelly Roll? No, Jelly.
Yeah, that ain't going to work.
But Jelly Roll did just testify, to his credit, in front of Congress, because he was in jail. He was a drug dealer, talking about he wants to go out.
Good.
I'm serious. And speak about fentanyl,
good
drugs. So that at least is something. But now we need the follow-up to that. This was just the other day.
Taylor Swift is filling Stadia, and Jelly Roll is testifying next to Mallorca. That's nice. Who is the biggest? Who are there? There is no.
But I don't think there is. Let me think. A comparison to Taylor Swift,
Kid Rock
on the right or conservative. Well, there's
Travis Tritt. I mean, I'm thinking
in terms of selling tickets and filling stadiums.
Ted Nugent. Nobody. But that's always been the case. Republicans and conservatives have never ever been. There's more of them than you would have. There's more than you would ever imagine.
There's a lot, believe it or not. I use Hollywood just as kind of a place marker. A lot of them, but they are in fear. They don't come out. They don't talk about it. They are conservative, these people. Musicians as well, but they are not going to jeopardize their financials and also their advertising opportunities. So,
What's happening on Broadway? Listen to this.
Not much. That's my answer. Despite what you read, a handful of shows will continue to do well. The old favorites like, Lion King, Wicked, always. But my sources, and I have plenty, people are just afraid to come to New York. It's very expensive. I mean, you come in, forget being afraid for a minute, the parking and the dinner and the tickets alone, and there's no really new creativity. We can't get new ideas, off the ground or workshops. So it's a lot of retooling the same old shows, and not as many shows as they used to have. And also
those woke shows.
There used to be, well, they did all that a few years ago. That wasn't working either. But it used to be there were actual theater owners, like the Schuberts and Drew Jamson and Nederlanders. And as they died off in recent years, big conglomerates have bought these theaters up. So again, it's corporations getting involved. And what do they know about creativity? And they don't. So it's failing. I'm going to say it's failing. Okay.
What about award shows? Emmys. How about the Emmys?
I don't. I don't even follow any of that. When you just look at them, we're like beyond that. It's like done for Emmys, Critics' Choice Awards. I believe Tuesday coming out will be the Oscar nominations. I just think we live in a different world now. Absolutely. It's a different time. People don't have time for that. It's done. Whereas we used to love it. The glitz, the glamour, watching, what the dresses look like. Done. Like, I don't have time for that. I'm a warrior
The glitz, the glamour, absolutely.
But no time for
that.
Well,
let me tell you something, my friends. This is it right now. This is Mrs. L's. This is her. This is it right now. I want you to promise me. Oh, look at this. Sean Martin says, help us, Donald John Trump. You're our only hope. Princess Leia. Absolutely. He is it.
But it really does feel like that. There is nobody else. So when everybody's complaining, who else is
Precisely. There? He is the chemotherapy. He's the radiation to this cancer called the woke left. This is Mrs. L's YouTube channel. Please, I'm asking you on her birthday, please do this. And also, this is her Twitter account as well. Let me give you this one now. Go there because the stuff that you have is superb. And the number of people who steal it, review it, including newsletters and the like, you are in industry because you have been doing this. They all kind of come and go. They come along and they're not in for the long haul, as it were. Going. And by the way, let me just say something. And we don't want to mention the organization, but don't ever think that you have people figured out. You are at a group of people who may not agree with everything, but all of them are on the same page regarding children, regarding women being sold into slavery. Don't turn your back on somebody because you think, oh, he's a lefty. He's not going to understand this. We have some lefty friends who are gay, lesbian, black, Asian, Latino, who, when it comes to certain aspects of politics, are very conservative, very traditional. So don't, am I right? Don't necessarily write people off because of the way they look or because they might like some other particular area of politics that you might not agree with. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense. Don't prejudge, because especially the work we do at the Warriors, it belongs to no political party. These are human rights abuses. This is slavery. It is a bipartisan issue. We have to come together. But that goes back to people have to be able to separate out. I know people who won't work with certain groups on the right because they're so left or progressive,
Oh,
whatever. And I know the same also goes for the other side. I separate about the issue, and that's what people have to do. And there are other groups and organizations doing the same for the good of the legislation, for the good of the children and families. And I wish more people could take that approach and just about that issue.
well, I want to thank you, dear heart. Happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
You are the love of my life. You changed everything for me, and I love you madly. I'm going to thank you
for
too.
having me tonight, and thank you for all of your wonderful people tonight. Yes, our wonderful people, for being here and for all the nice birthday messages. It makes me feel
Indeed.
warm and fuzzy.
All right, friends, we'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Don't forget to go to Mrs. L's YouTube channel and her Twitter. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. And don't forget, until then, as we always say, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da, da.